Who want the cash? Got a little bit of cash for you. Okay.
Floyd Mayweather and Joe Rogan just met in person at Los Angeles International Airport. The fight sports world is on edge right now because of what happened. Sources say Floyd saw Joe in the private airport and went up to him to talk about the podcast comments about the money he lost. People who were there say the tension was instant and very high, with Floyd demanding that Joe explain what he meant when he talked about the money situation. A source says that this was not a light-hearted conversation. It was clear to Money Mayweather how he felt about the claims made by Joe Rogan. Several news sources say the fight happened around 7 p.m. Pacific time in the private aviation area of LAX, where they were getting on different planes. Witnesses say Floyd saw Joe Rogan waiting for his show crew while he was on the way to a promotional event with his security team. They said Floyd quickly changed his mind and walked straight toward Joe with a clear goal in mind. The first thing Floyd said, according to sources, was something like, "We need to talk about what you've been saying about my finances on your show."
Look at Floyd. Like, Floyd spends money like it's a tap. Like, he's got a tap, just like unlimited amount of money. Money's just flowing. And even as much money as he's made in his...
People say that Joe Rogan's first response surprised them, but he didn't back down. Insiders say Joe got up from his seat and recognized Floyd. He told Floyd that he was just telling the public about the Showtime case.
This case that's coming up. Well, the lawsuit could have some pretty serious implications, not only for Floyd's legacy, but also for how networks and advisors handle fighter compensations.
Witnesses say Joe said that the $340 million lawsuit was already known and that he was just taking a look at it, as he does with all combat sports stories. The people who saw Joe said his tone was polite but firm, not sorry. According to stories from the scene, Floyd wasn't happy with the answer.
I make money. I like to feed my family. You know, we can't feed our family just saying I love you. You know, money is...
Sources say that money got more animated. Joe said on his show that Floyd spends money like a tap and that he is broke, even though he has made over $1 billion in his career. The people who were there say Floyd said these things hurt his business's image and make it hard to negotiate deals. Witnesses say Floyd said something like, "You're telling millions of people I'm broke when I just sued to get back money that was stolen from me. That's not the same thing."
Their blames for the missing money is not named as a defendant in the lawsuit. Instead, Mayweather's legal action targets the network and Steven Espinoza. He claims they aided and abetted these alleged financial wrongdoings. So what does this mean?
The person went to Joe's podcast interview with Shocker Stevenson, where he talked about Floyd's money problems.
Your mind is messed up?
Yeah.
It's over with.
That's such a good lesson for young fighters to see, too. To see a guy like yourself be fully dedicated, so disciplined, get through the whole thing, get out.
Another one in me, because they missed that high of all the fans chanting their name and everybody, you know, cameras, lights, and, you know.
People who knew Floyd said that he used specific quotes from that episode, which proved that he had seen it and made notes. Sources say Floyd heard Joe talking about cases, unpaid rent, and owing money on several homes.
Shoot out there.
Nice.
We can do whatever we want out there, and it's just, you know, peaceful to wake up to the sunrise.
Witnesses say Floyd made it clear that most of those reports are either greatly exaggerated or totally false, and that they were made by people who want him to fail.
That's made of clips taken out of context of me of 12 years of conversations on my podcast, and it's all smushed together, and it looks fucking horrible, even to me.
It looks like Joe Rogan tried to calm things down by sharing his point of view. Sources who know about the situation say that Joe explained his reasoning. Floyd made more than $1.2 billion in his career and is now suing for $340 million in missing funds. This is a bad case of money management, no matter who is to blame.
So you'd have many people that are getting into just residences, making 100, 200 grand here or there, $50,000 not going to affect. But for those large investors, obviously that's becoming very concerning, because if you've got a building, big mall or something else, it could be worth $100 million. All of a sudden you've got a $10 million profit on there that's now going to be taxed at 37. Or
insiders say Joe thinks that the math alone brings up important issues that the combat sports media should talk about. According to people who were there, Floyd's response to Joe's math point was very angry. Money made up the gap between gross sales and net profits, according to reports. It's important to remember that a big chunk of those billions of dollars goes to taxes, team fees, and advertising.
Argues that during his legendary career, where he generated $1 billion in revenue plus and pay-per-view money, a significant portion of the funds that he made through those events, through his fights, didn't make it into his hands because they were funneled through accounts controlled by his then advisor, Al Heyman. Now, Mayweather says that Showtime delivered those checks and funds through systems that helped Heyman get the money instead of paying Floyd directly.
According to sources, Floyd said something like, "You think I kept all that money? 40% is taxed right away. There are also location fees, insurance, trainers, managers, and promoters to pay. You want to keep 30 to 40 cents for every dollar." The conversation then turned to Al Heyman and the claims against Showtime in particular. Insiders say Floyd told Joe that his previous manager had died and had been putting money into secret accounts for years without Floyd's knowledge. People who were there say Floyd stressed that being a victim of financial fraud does not mean you are poor or careless with your money.
A fighter can't say, I'm doing business with Al Heyman, but I'm not doing business with Floyd Mayweather. Or I'm doing business with Floyd Mayweather, and I'm not doing business with Al Heyman.
Floyd's voice grew louder as he said, "I put my money in the wrong hands. That doesn't make me stupid. That makes them criminals." Joe Rogan seemed to agree with the difference. According to reports,
working hard and I'm going home and I'm like, oh, that was a good workout. I feel it.
some people say that Joe knew that Floyd was abused by people he trusted if the lawsuit's claims are true. But Joe is said to have said that the event still makes people wonder why Floyd didn't have independent auditors look over his finances on a daily basis during his career. Witnesses say that Joe said most athletes making Floyd's salary have a lot of business advisors who look over each other's work. Floyd's answer was mostly about how the fighting business is different. Insiders say that money is the main reason why boxing is different from team sports, where teams and companies manage the money. Sources say Floyd said that boxers have to put together their own teams because there is no business structure to keep things in check. People watching says Floyd made it clear that Al Heyman was more than just his boss. Floyd had known him for more than 15 years and trusted him. After Joe's words about Floyd fighting a lot in 2026 to make quick cash, the subject turned to Floyd himself. According to people who were there, this is where Floyd became most protective over the broken story. People who know money say that he is fighting Mike Tyson, Mike Zambides, and Manny Pacquiao because fans want to see big fights like these, not because he needs the money. According to sources, Floyd stated, "I could retire tomorrow and never work again. I'm fighting because I can, and the money is there. That differs from the need to fight." Joe Rogan's reaction allegedly acknowledged the distinction while questioning the time. According to others present, Joe pointed out that Floyd announced all 3 fights within weeks of filing the Showtime case, implying a desire for fast financial flow. According to sources, Joe believes the optics indicate Floyd is scrambling to replace the missing $340 million, regardless of the actual truth. According to witnesses, Joe said, "I'm just telling you how it looks to the public." Floyd presumably addressed the Logan Paul case, which Joe had also highlighted on his podcast. According to reports, Logan Paul claimed Floyd owes him $1.5 million from their 2021 exhibition. According to insiders, Floyd revealed the intricate payment structure involving a Dubai company that pre-purchased rights, which resulted in a legal disagreement rather than Floyd refusing to pay. According to sources, Floyd highlighted, "That's a contract dispute between companies." "Not me being broke and dodging payments." Floyd then began breaking down his actual present financial situation to demonstrate his point. Witnesses said the money specified specific assets, such as his Las Vegas residence, the Mayweather Boxing Club, various buildings, a car collection totaling more than $50 million, and continuing business activities. Floyd estimated his net worth to be between $400 and $500 million, even after accounting for the missing money from the Showtime incident. Floyd reportedly replied, "Show me another boxer in history who retired with $500 million in assets." Joe Rogan has apparently admitted that Floyd is certainly not broke in the traditional sense. Insiders claim Joe explained that when he discusses Floyd's financial woes on the podcast, he is referring to liquidity issues and legal complications, not Floyd's true poverty. According to witnesses, Joe stated, "Nobody believes you're sleeping on a friend's couch. But when you sue for $340 million and go to court 3 times in 6 months, people start to see the bigger picture." The topic then changed to media accountability and how podcasters should talk about sports-related money tales. Sources say Floyd told Joe that he owes it to his huge fan base to be more careful about how he acts when he's desperate for money. Floyd said that Joe's show is heard by tens of millions of people who see his opinions as professional analysis. Some people who were there say Floyd said, "When you say, 'I spend money like a tap and now I have to come out of retirement,' you're making up a story that's not true." Others say Joe Rogan defended his opinion by giving public information. Reports say that Joe said everything he did based on court papers, news stories, and Floyd's public statements. Insiders say Joe thinks that podcasters and the media should look at information that is open to the public. And if that information paints a bad picture, Floyd's team should be honest instead of attacking the source. Floyd is said to have used the fact that the Showtime records were lost by a flood as an example of something that didn't seem right. Witnesses say that Money told Joe that when his new team asked Showtime for financial proof to check the payments, they were told that the data had been lost in floods. According to sources, Floyd thinks that this convenient reason is what makes the whole thing smell like it was all a scam. Others who were there say Floyd asked Joe directly, "Don't you think that's suspicious? Records worth hundreds of millions of dollars just disappear." Joe Rogan is said to have agreed that this information raises red flags. Insiders say that Joe said this part of the lawsuit makes it sound like there was a problem with keeping the records. Witnesses say that Joe Choi said real businesses don't lose financial information in storms. A lot of digital copies of everything are kept safe. According to sources, Joe informed Floyd, "That part of your lawsuit is strong. That's the kind of detail that convinces folks you have a legitimate case." The debate then shifted to Stephen Espinoza's involvement and subsequent relocation to premier boxing champions. According to reports, Floyd told Joe that Espinoza's decision to work for Al Heyman's company after leaving Showtime proved there was a planned scheme. According to those there, Floyd said that the timeline reveals Espinoza working for Heyman's interests while allegedly managing Floyd's Showtime payments. According to witnesses, Floyd emphasized that it was not a coincidence. That is evidence of a conspiracy. Joe Rogan's examination of the Espinoza scenario seems to support Floyd's suspicions. According to sources, Joe agreed that the employment change creates at least the appearance of impropriety. According to insiders, Joe stated that even if Espinoza did nothing illegal, coming to work for the guy suspected of scamming Floyd just after leaving Showtime appears exceedingly fishy to any impartial observer. Floyd's security team notified him that his flight was about to board, signaling the end of the encounter. According to witnesses, Floyd's final words to Joe were a request for more equal coverage in the future. According to accounts, Money replied something similar to "I respect your platform and reach. All I ask is that you separate the fraud case from the broken accusations. I am battling fraud, not because I am needy for money." Joe Rogan has supposedly vowed to be more clear in future podcast conversations. News sources say that Joe told Floyd that he would explain the difference between being broke and being scammed. According to others present, Joe replied, "Fair enough. You are correct that there are different scenarios. I'll be more careful with how I frame it." According to insiders, both men shook hands before Floyd and his security team moved toward the gate. The aftermath of this airport confrontation has enraged the boxing media. According to sources, many sites have requested official statements from Floyd's team and Joe's show producers. Floyd's lawyers are reportedly planning a public statement outlining his financial situation and the distinctions he made with Joe, according to insiders. The legal team wants to address the broken narrative head-on before it harms Floyd's economic opportunities and endorsement prospects. Joe Rogan's podcast team is reportedly planning to address the event in a forthcoming episode. Witnesses allege Joe's producers immediately began debating whether to record a segment about the LAX exchange. According to sources, Joe is considering conducting a thorough analysis of Floyd's financial condition with professional accounting specialists in order to provide more context than his prior comments. According to insiders, Joe wants to show that he's willing to alter the record when sportsmen have legitimate concerns about media coverage. Boxing analysts have begun to weigh in on the confrontation and its implications for Floyd's public image. According to reports, many experts believe Floyd took the right decision by addressing Joe personally rather than allowing the story to continue unchecked. According to sources, public relations specialists are appreciating Floyd's approach of engaging with the media rather than avoiding criticism. According to insiders, this face-to-face conversation might benefit Floyd's reputation by demonstrating his confidence in his financial situation and willingness to defend it. The broader implications for athlete-media connections are being debated on various combat sports forums. According to insiders, this LAX interaction shows the contradiction between podcast culture and traditional athlete privacy. According to sources, many fighters are concerned about how podcast conversations of their personal finances generate storylines that are accepted as fact. According to rumors, some notable boxers have privately contacted Floyd, expressing their support for addressing media individuals who have mentioned their money without providing context. Financial experts who are closely following the story appear to believe Floyd has a solid case in the Showtime lawsuit. According to reports, forensic accountants evaluated publicly available court documents and deemed Floyd's accusations about hidden accounts and missing data convincing. According to sources, Showtime's inability to deliver clear financial documents when requested is a huge red flag in fraud investigations. According to insiders, if Floyd can establish even half of his charges, he will likely be awarded hefty damages in addition to the missing $340 million.